Are you feeling inexplicably stuck in certain areas of your life? Do you find yourself caught in repeating patterns of behavior you consciously dislike, yet seem powerless to change? Perhaps a persistent sense of unease, a nagging feeling of incompleteness, or a subtle undercurrent of self-sabotage runs beneath the surface of your daily life. These are often whispers from a hidden dimension of your psyche, signals that it's time to embark on a profound journey inward, to confront what Carl Jung, the pioneering depth psychologist, called the shadow self. Today we will embark on an in-depth exploration of shadow work, revealing how understanding, acknowledging, and ultimately integrating your shadow is not just a therapeutic exercise, but the very key to unlocking immense personal growth, achieving genuine self-mastery, and living a more authentic, empowered, and wholehearted life. If you are drawn to the path of self-discovery and psychological depth, then please subscribe to this channel. We are committed to exploring these profound topics together. To truly grasp shadow work, we must first understand what the shadow self is. In Jungian psychology, the shadow is not some malevolent entity lurking within, but rather it represents the unconscious aspects of your personality, the thoughts, feelings, impulses, and characteristics that your conscious ego, your sense of I, does not identify with. It is, in essence, the repository of everything you have repressed, denied, or disowned about yourself, often from a very young age. This disowning process typically happens because these shadow aspects are deemed unacceptable by your family, culture, or your own conscious moral standards. Think of the shadow as a vast unlit basement within your psyche, where you've stored away everything you didn't want to deal with, everything that didn't fit your carefully constructed self-image. However, and this is a crucial point often misunderstood, the shadow is not inherently negative. It is amoral, meaning it contains both negative traits, anger, jealousy, aggression, shame, and, surprisingly, a wealth of untapped positive qualities. Instinct, intuition, spontaneity, creativity, and even unacknowledged talents. As Jung insightfully noted, the shadow is merely somewhat inferior, primitive, unadapted, and awkward, not wholly bad. It is in this inferior, primitive, and awkward realm that immense potential lies dormant, waiting to be reclaimed. Why, then, is engaging in shadow work not just beneficial, but truly essential for psychological wholeness? Because ignoring your shadow, pretending it doesn't exist, or actively suppressing it, does not make it vanish. Instead, it drives it further into the depths of your unconscious, where it operates autonomously, unseen and unchecked, exerting a powerful, often detrimental influence on your conscious life. An unintegrated shadow is like a hidden puppeteer, subtly pulling the strings of your behavior, emotions, and relationships, often in ways you don't understand. These shadow manifestations can be incredibly diverse and often destructive. Recurring patterns of self-sabotage in your career or relationships, unexplained anxieties and phobias that seem to come from nowhere, sudden outbursts of anger or irrational jealousy, a chronic feeling of being stuck or unfulfilled, a persistent sense of meaninglessness, or a gnawing feeling of inauthenticity, like you're living a role rather than your true life. Perhaps most insidiously, the unintegrated shadow leads to projection. As Jung discovered, we tend to project our own disowned shadow qualities onto others. We vehemently judge and criticize in others the very traits we secretly dislike or fear within ourselves. This projection mechanism not only distorts our perception of the world, but also poisons our relationships, creating unnecessary conflict and misunderstanding. If you are recognizing these shadow patterns in your own life, please consider subscribing. We are building a community to support each other on this path of self-awareness. However, when we consciously and courageously choose to engage in shadow work, to deliberately shine the light of awareness into this hidden basement of our psyche, to bring these unconscious aspects into conscious understanding and compassionate acceptance, the transformative potential is truly immense. The benefits of shadow integration, of making the unconscious conscious, as Jung urged, are profound and far-reaching. Increased self-awareness. Shadow work is, at its core, a journey of radical self-knowledge. It allows you to see yourself more fully, flaws and all, breaking free from idealized self-images and superficial personas. Greater wholeness and authenticity. By integrating your shadow, you become more complete, more congruent, more genuinely you. You are no longer split, no longer at war with yourself, but rather a unified, integrated individual. Release of trapped energy. Suppressing the shadow takes enormous psychic energy. As you integrate it, this energy is freed up, becoming available for conscious, creative, and life-affirming purposes. Enhanced creativity and intuition. The shadow is a rich source of instinctual energy and raw creativity. By embracing it, you tap into a deeper wellspring of inspiration and innovative potential. Improved relationships. As you become more aware of your projections, you take responsibility for your own inner world, leading to more authentic, compassionate, and less reactive relationships. Increased emotional intelligence. Shadow work fosters emotional maturity. You learn to understand and manage your darker emotions rather than being controlled by them. A deeper sense of meaning and purpose. By confronting and integrating your shadow, you align yourself more fully with your true self, paving the way for a life lived with greater purpose and genuine fulfillment. So, let's get practical. How does one actually do shadow work? It's not a weekend workshop or a 5-step program, but rather an ongoing, deeply personal exploration. Here are some powerful techniques to guide you on this journey. Intensive journaling with shadow prompts. Go beyond surface-level journaling. Use specific prompts designed to excavate shadow material. For example, describe a person who intensely irritates you. What specific qualities bother you? Could any of these qualities be present in a disowned form within yourself? Or, recall a time you acted in a way you deeply regret or are ashamed of. What shadow aspect might have been driving that behavior? Be brutally honest with yourself in your journaling. Active dream analysis. Keep a dream journal diligently. When you recall a dream, don't just passively record it. Actively engage with it. Identify the key figures, symbols, and emotions. Ask yourself, what shadow aspects might these dream figures represent? What is my unconscious trying to communicate to me through this dream? Explore Jung's concept of archetypes to deepen your dream interpretation. Mindfulness and shadow observation in daily life. Train yourself to become a keen observer of your own reactions and impulses in everyday situations. Practice mindfulness meditation to cultivate a non-judgmental awareness of your inner landscape. When you experience a strong negative emotion, anger, jealousy, resentment, shame, pause and ask yourself, what shadow aspect is being triggered right now? What unconscious belief or fear is being activated? Engage in shadow dialogues through active imagination. This Jungian technique involves consciously entering a waking dream state and engaging in dialogue with shadow figures that emerge. You can visualize your shadow, personify it, and ask it questions. What does it want you to know? What are its fears, its needs, its hidden gifts? This can be a powerful, albeit sometimes challenging way to directly interact with your unconscious. Creative expression as shadow exploration. Use art, music, writing, dance, or any creative outlet to express and explore your shadow aspects. Often, what cannot be articulated directly through words can find expression through symbolic forms of creativity. Remember, shadow work is not about self-flagellation or dwelling in negativity. It's about bringing unconscious darkness into the light of conscious awareness, so that it can be understood, integrated, and ultimately transformed. As you engage in this process, be prepared for discomfort. Confronting your shadow can be unsettling, even painful at times, as it requires facing aspects of yourself you may have long avoided. This is why self-compassion and self-acceptance are absolutely crucial. Approach your shadow with curiosity, with a willingness to understand, rather than with judgment or condemnation. As Jung wisely advised, One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Closing statement. The journey of shadow work is not a destination, but a lifelong process of unfolding self-awareness and integration. It is a courageous and deeply rewarding path, leading to greater authenticity, inner power, and a more meaningful, wholehearted life. Don't shy away from the darkness within. Embrace it as a vital part of your totality. Begin your shadow work journey today. Start with one journaling prompt, one moment of mindful self-reflection, one conscious act of self-compassion. The hidden treasures of your shadow self await your courageous exploration. If you are committed to this path of profound self-discovery and transformation, subscribe to this channel. We are here to guide and support you every step of the way. Let's illuminate the shadows together.